Hey everybody, this is Bradley Benner with Semantic Mastery, and today I have Mike Martin on, who's going to be talking about the hybrid lead generation model. And the reason why, so first of all, hi Mike, how are you?
Yep, really good, mate. Really good. Pleased to be here.
Good. I'm glad we got a chance to connect. I actually just met Mike like literally about 5 minutes ago when we got started on this webinar, but I reached out to Mike specifically after I started using the Lead Simplify app in my own business about 8 or 10 weeks ago, and it's really, really good. In fact, it's actually modified my own lead generation business model that I've had in place since 2010. So, like just in the last 10 weeks or so, I've kind of modified my own lead gen business because of the Lead Simplify model and some of the the Lead Simplify app and some of the features that it has that's enabled me to sell leads to more than just one lead buyer, for example. And so I reached out to Mike a few weeks ago and asked if we could do a promotion to our audience, because I know most of Semantic Mastery's audience are into local SEO and lead generation. And I just thought it was a perfect fit, especially because you guys know we don't promote anything unless we use it ourselves. And this is something that I think is a fantastic app. It's inexpensive. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. And so because of that, Mike was Mike came on. Mike was gracious enough to accept my invitation for us to promote this to our audience. So again, Mike, we appreciate you having you on, and thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. Cheers for that amazing introduction. Hey guys, like Bradley just said, I'm Mike Martin. I do loads of online cool stuff, like probably most of you guys, lead generation and just making money, doing mad things. What we're going to talk about today is the hybrid lead generation business model, and how to easily start and grow your own profitable pandemic-proof business without investing a ton of money from the outset. Now, this is probably something that most of you have never heard of before. And the reason it's something you've never heard of before is because we come up with the idea about 18 months ago. And now we were always big into lead generation and we were always big into pay per lead. And we was always big into rank and rent, but we kind of kept them separate. They kind of ran side by side and they kind of never came together. And what we figured out was a way of bringing them both together like a synergy. And what happened was we kind of turned into the profitability of the pay per lead model, which, as you know, is a hell of a lot more profitable, and the stability of the rank and rent. So if you had, like, imagine you've got a flat and you wanted to rent it out for a night. If you rent it out every single night for a year, you're going to make a fortune. Okay. But if you rent it out for a full year on a contract, you make a lot less money. It's the same principle. It works exactly the same like that. Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably better at SEO than I am in this group. However, what this does is it gives you a super stable and super profitable way. So the one thing I'm really, really good at is turning traffic into cash and making money out of the traffic that comes into the business. And that's what I want to go through today. So it doesn't matter if you're brand new to this. It doesn't matter if you're an expert at lead gen, and it doesn't matter if you're actually just doing ads. In fact, some of our most profitable users actually only drive ad traffic to what they do, and they just follow the hybrid model. Okay. I'd like to ask a question. Has everybody been on a webinar before? Everybody here been on a webinar before? Okay, Bradley, you know I'm new to the thingy. I'm trying to find
I'm quite sure all of our members have been on many of our webinars.
Yep. Where's the Q&A on this?
Well, there's a chat. If you see the chat, like if you click up at the top, you'll see a little drop down, and you should be able to see the chat window.
Is that Heyo, and Adam's just popped in?
Yeah, Adam. Yeah, that's Adam. That's my partner, Adam. He just popped in. Yes, sir.
So that's the chat that I should keep my eyes open.
Yes.
Okay. Well, anybody that's sorry, guys. I'm just figuring my way out. I've never done a presentation on Zoom before. Anybody who's been on a presentation before will know they're all the same format. They're all identical. They all go through the same format. You still go through. This is going to be completely different for you. Okay. So before we do get started, okay, here is what I'm not going to do. So this is something I'm not going to do today. Okay. I'm not going to boast about how successful I am. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you how rich I am and how much money I make and all the other crazy things. Okay. I'm not going to show rented mansions or sports cars and claim that they're mine, which I hate seeing on presentations. And I know people are a lot more intelligent than most of these salesmen give them credit for. So that's not something I'm going to do. And I won't show you piles of money whilst bragging that I did over $3 million from home last year. It's just not something that I do. Okay, guys, is everybody okay with that? Yep. Okay, then. Right. But I will show you how to build a pandemic-proof business that makes a huge profit if you're willing to put put in the work. So as long as everybody on here is happy to put in the work, then this will work for you, because this is a real business. And as Bradley said earlier, this works for lead generation businesses. Okay. So can anybody tell me, just so I know what level we are, what is lead generation? What is lead generation to you? Okay, selling business to businesses, broken leads, ranking business. I'll tell you what I believe it is, guys. I'll tell you exactly what I believe it is. Okay, so lead generation enables people like you and me, a very low starting capital, to create a very, very profitable business with no product, no service, no fulfillment, no stock or storage, unlimited sales, 100% profit in every single sale. No premises, so we can work from home, you can work from the attic, you can work from your closet if you want, and pretty much almost no risk to you, the business owner. It's the business model that Google and Facebook and a lot of the biggest companies on the planet have chosen to do. Okay, also guys, for everybody who's on live today, I've got a special gift. Okay, I have a training course I sell for $297. It's called a hybrid lead generation business model training course. Sell it for $297. I'm going to give it to every single one of you for free. Now, today, this is step one, okay, in a 13-part training course. And the course will cover everything in detail for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the roadmap. So this is the blueprint, and then the course will make you the expert. Now, what the course is going to cover is choosing a niche and choosing a location. So choosing a niche that's going to make you money. We're also going to go through website framework and building a site the right way. Okay, so you wouldn't build a house on quicksand. So why 99.9% of people do this with websites, I don't know, because they're just going to sink in the rankings pretty quick. And most guys on here probably know this better than I do, because these are an SEO group. Okay, so it's going to go through that. It's also going to go through on-page and off-page SEO. So this is not an advanced course, but what it's going to do is it's basically going to teach you enough to make you super successful doing this in any niche. Okay, because I'm not an SEO expert or an SEO specialist. What I do is I do just enough to make my rankings come in to generate a ton of leads and make an absolute fortune in cash, because it's all about, obviously, the money at the end of the day. There's a few GMB tricks. It's going to teach you how to get free GMBs and a few other tricks inside there. Why Lead Simplify? That's the tool that we have to use to do the hybrid lead generation business model. And it's the glue that holds everything together for us. Also, we're going to then go through start renting out your websites. I'm going to touch on this a little bit tonight. But starting renting out your website is when most people, first of all, start to struggle. And I'm going to touch on this a little bit tonight, because I'm going to show you a couple of tricks that show you exactly how to do that very, very easily. But there's a hell of a lot more of that in the training course. Spreading like a wave. So the two most important things to understand from tonight's presentation is spreading like a wave and choosing a niche. Okay. A lot of people make the mistake of choosing different niches in different locations, and they just spread to whatever people want. Right. The key to growing a huge business and being very, very successful in lead generation is choosing a niche. Okay. And then spreading like a wave. So you find a central point and you just spread outwards. Okay. And I'll explain more why a little bit further on. And when you do understand that, so then it'll all start to fall into place. So just remember them two things: choosing your niche and spreading like a wave. Next step is outsourcing you. This is my personal favorite bit, and this is the one thing I love to do with all my businesses. Whenever I set up a new company or start a new project, I always have the end in mind as when I'm going to outsource myself further down the line, because I hate working. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to teach you to build a company that doesn't need you, so it can easily be sold for multiples of turnover. Okay. And then you've got the option. You can either sell or retire. So if you decide to sell a business, that's completely up to you. I prefer to sit at home and get paid a salary from everything that I set up and not do any work. But it's totally up to you. Now, I'm going to give this course to absolutely everybody who's on here. This is completely free. I'm also going to include an additional video in there that's called the website stacking strategy. And I'm going to include that into the training course for you. That'll be added as the 13th video in the training course. And that really teaches you, if you're already established doing rank and rent and you understand the website stacking strategy, you'll understand how to absolutely skyrocket your income very, very easily. Okay, now we'll ask everybody to do something for me first. If you sat on today and you're in Facebook, Twitter, phone, or emails, if you could please just log out of them. I only need your attention for maybe 30 minutes, but I'm going to transform the way you look at this business. And if you implement what I show you, it'll transform your business and it'll make you a ton of money in the process. Okay. Like I said earlier, this is part one or step one of a 13-part course. So tonight is the roadmap. So you need to understand this. You need to just listen on this bit. It's the top-down view, and the course will give you the details. So the course is the thing that will actually help make you into an expert. Also, guys, as Bradley said earlier, I want to make you guys an offer. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up now is because I want to teach you quite a bit, and I want you to be able to relax and learn and listen to what it is I'm going through. Now, I always panic halfway through a presentation. You know, somebody I sit on a presentation and I look at what they're doing and I think, I need this. And then all I can think about is the price. So I sit there and I'm listening and I'm thinking, I need this for my business. I know I've got to pay for it. Is it going to cost me $12.97? Is it going to cost me $9.97? And I start going into this like internal fight with myself, trying to figure out what the price is going to be. And I miss the second half of the presentation because I'm thinking about the price. So what happens is I buy it, but I don't know how to use it properly because I've been sat worrying about the price for half an hour. Does that happen to anybody else? It must have.
Yeah. I've always thought about like what other things can I cancel so that I have the money to pay for this, you know, without going past a certain level of expenditure every month. You know what I mean? So I'm always like, I need this. I've got 5 other things that I could probably cancel because I know this is going to be super expensive.
But yeah, and that's what I do all the way through the presentation. I sit there and I'm like, oh my God. So guys, just let you know, it's not going to cost you $9.97 tonight. Okay. It's not going to cost you $4.97. It's not even going to cost $297. It's not even going to cost you $97. Okay. So everybody can sit back, you can breathe, you can relax, and you can watch the presentation and soak up what it is we're going into. Okay. It's going to cost you $39.99. That's it. Right. And the only way that I ever make more than $39.99 from you is if you're successful with this. If you continue to do it and you push forward, then I will make more money for you. Okay. Now, I'd just like to let people know that you're completely free to accept or decline this offer. All right. There's no pressure sales at all. It will make things a lot easier, a lot faster, and it'll save you a lot of money, as Bradley knows. But you're completely free to accept or decline it. I'm still going to give you the training course 100% free of charge. Okay, guys. Now, I usually get the question, what's in it for you? What's in it for you coming onto a presentation for hours and hours and hours for $39.99, where most people are charging $9.97, okay? And they're after the quick cash now. But what I want is an army of people doing this. I want an army of people using my strategy that I know works, and I want honest testimonials, okay? So what I need from you guys in return for this, I need you to write into the questions, okay? Pop into the questions, I promise. And I'll tell you what he's promising for, okay? You're promising me that you're going to give me a testimonial as soon as you have your first $10,000 month from what I'm teaching you today. That means everybody who takes action and jumps on board today and actually does the work, not just sits there and expects a magic button, should be giving me a testimonial within the next 3 to 6 months, either written or by video. Okay, does that sound fair to everybody?
Absolutely.
Right, I'm going to ask another question to the audience now. How much is a cheap property where you are? How much is a cheap property where you guys are?
You mean like real estate or virtual real estate?
Single bedroom flat, small house, tiny, just a tiny property. How much would it cost where you are?
Yeah, that depends. I mean, just north of me, it can go for a small one bedroom apartment can go for $2,500 a month, which is insane.
Well, right. So you're talking $1 million to buy it, though, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
All right. Okay. So let's use an example that people can afford. let's say $100,000, right? Let's say you could buy a 1-bedroom apartment for $100,000. Okay. If you rent that out, you're probably going to be renting it out for maybe $500 a month. Okay. So you're looking around about $500. So you've invested $100,000, rent it out for $500 a month. Maybe in 10 years, if you look at and you buy in the right area, it might be worth 200 grand. So basically you've invested $100,000 and you're getting $500 a month. You've got the hassle of dealing with the tenant, the plumbing, the roofing, and all the other stuff that comes along with it. And you might make 10 grand a year over the next 10 years. Okay. So it's a big investment for only very, very small games. Okay. So I want people to imagine this. And obviously I know a lot of you guys will already understand where I'm going with this, but you buy an asset for $10 or less. Okay. You give it some TLC, you give it a tiny bit of love. Okay. and you can sell that asset for 100 times the cost within 3 months. Or you can rent that asset out every single month for 100 times the cost within 6 months. 100 times the cost. That's without any help from anybody. There's no builders, no contractors, no additional costs. And with what I'm going to show you tonight, you can do this over and over again. That sound good? Okay.
Yeah,
okay then. So can you do this consistently? 100x, guys. Can you do this consistently with property? Can you do it with gold, crypto, stocks and shares, or land? Can you 100x your money with any of these? The answer is a big fat no. Plus, you need a lot of money to get started. Okay. What I'm going to teach you today is completely different. Okay. Today is all about small investments for big returns. So putting a little bit of money in and getting a shit ton of money back out. That's what it's all about. That's how we get rich. Okay, guys. Has anybody read this book? Poor people work for money. Rich people make money work for them. Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Oh yeah.
You read this? Yep.
Oh yeah.
Do you understand what the key message from the book is? One sentence.
You're asking me.
I'm asking you. You answered the question.
Yeah. Don't. Actually, no, I can't summarize it in one. That's a good question.
Okay, what he does in the book, he talks about stocks, he talks about shares, talks about leverage, investment, businesses, property. But in one sentence, I would sum the whole book up as the only thing we have that can make us rich are assets that increase in value. There's one of you, one of me. There's one of each of us. And if you work as hard as you can all day, every single day for the next 20 to 30 years, you're going to be probably wealthy. But you're not going to get to the point where you're super rich. Some people might, most won't. Whereas if you've got 50 assets that are going out and making you $1,000 a month each, okay, those assets are going to make you rich. So this is all leads on to part one, starting with appreciating assets. How to build an appreciating asset for about $20. So what are appreciating assets? Now, most people would say houses, cars, gold, collectibles. I've actually got a list of them all here. So appreciating assets is usually your business is an appreciating asset if you run it right. Workforce are appreciating asset if you spend a lot of money on training them, get the right people, and a lot of trial and error. Real estate, land, savings, precious metals, gemstones, collectibles, government-sponsored accounts, and personal assets. But they all have one thing in common. The one thing they all have in common is small gains equals slow wealth. So you've got big investments, you got small gains. I'll just get a drink of water, and you're going to have slow wealth. Now, if you've got money already, some people have, then these are great. But when you want to make money, when you're in a situation where you want to make money from what you're doing, now I know a lot of people that can rank a website at the top of Google and haven't got a clue how to turn it into cash. Okay. So when you've not got a lot of money and you need to make it, you need something different. And that's why we're looking at digital assets. A digital asset can 10x in just a few months easily. So if you do what I show you tonight, then you're going to be able to do this over and over again. I don't know how many people we've got on tonight, guys, but I'd just see if anybody knows what are the 3 steps to the rank and rent business model. Anybody at all?
I'll answer that one in as well. Rank a site, find a lead buyer or somebody to rent the site from you, and then collect money.
There we go. Pretty much. You got to build the website first. Build a website the right way, and you guys can follow the training. Okay. So no one builds a house on quicksand, like we said earlier. So why build a site like that? Okay. 99% of people are building sites the wrong way. So you build a website. If you follow the training and listen to what I say inside the training, you'll understand exactly how to build a site the right way. You then rank the website. Okay. The on-page and off-page SEO, it's all inside the course for you that we're giving you for free today, how to easily rank it in pretty much any niche you're going after. And then you rent that website out. Okay, so you rent it out for money. Now, this is covered again in detail in the course, but I want to touch on this a little more now and share a few tips with people on how we convert customers into people into rank and rent customers very, very easily. That's why we easily do it. Okay, so it's how to track 2 things so it's easy to rent out your asset for 100 times the initial cost. Okay, so the first things you've got to understand with this is you must understand that once your website ranks, you've got an asset. Okay, and I've reiterated Rich Dad Poor Dad there. Poor people work for money, rich people make money work for them. And assets is the best way to do it. And digital assets are the quickest appreciating assets ever. Okay, so we have to do this by doing one thing right. We have to only sell to the best companies. Okay, but how do we sell to the best companies? Now, if I was to ask the question, is it possible to sell to the best companies without trial and error? Everybody on here is going to say, well, no. Okay, and in most cases, that will be true. In most cases, it's no. You can't say, you have to try the companies out before you think. But let me share something. Has everybody heard of the 80-20 principle?
Oh yeah.
Yep. Everybody's heard of that. Yeah. Pareto's law. Okay. Right. Well, basically what the 80-20 principle does, for those that haven't, it basically states that 20% of your actions equal 80% of your gains. So 20% of your work gets you 80% of your money. 20% of your exercise loses 80% of your weight. And we all know that the last 20% is a nightmare, and that takes 80% of the work. Therefore, 80% of your actions only make 20% of your gains. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yep. So what's the answer to the problem? The answer to the problem is do more of the 20%. Everybody has to agree with that. Yep. So how do we use the 80-20 principle in what we are doing? And we do it with one little question. Okay. One little tiny question that we ask our renters before we let them rent a site from us. In fact, let me get my pen. Okay. What is your conversion rate? Now, we don't say it like that. So let's say, for example, we're going after somebody in the solar panel industry. Okay. You turn around and you ask him, okay, if I send you 10 leads a week, how many customers will you get? If I send you 10 qualified leads a week, how many customers are you going to get? If he turns around and says to you, I don't know, then you walk away. Walk away and just do not do business with him. Okay. This is how we've grown our business massive. Okay. You walk away. He's one of the 80% because all businesses need a conversion strategy to grow. If they haven't got a conversion strategy and they don't know the numbers, then you don't want to work with them. Okay, so you come to guy number 2 and you ask him the same question. If I send you 10 leads a week, how many customers are you going to get? And he'll turn around and say, okay, well, let's say 20% of those, 20% of those leads are probably going to be people trying to sell us stuff, kind of like you. Okay, and then you're like, okay, cool. And then they'll probably turn around and say 80% of what comes through to us a genuine interest. Okay, so we'll say they're interested, but we probably only convert 20% overall. Okay, so we probably only convert 20% overall. So now we know if we send 10 leads to this person, so let's call him Brian. If we send 10 leads to Brian, he's going to get 2 customers. Okay, so we know send him the leads, he gets 2 customers. Right. So once we figured that bit out with a customer, okay, you're asking the question straight away. Okay, so if I send you 10 leads, you should get 2 customers. You agree? He's going to say yes because he gave you the question right. Then there's question number 2. These are the only 2 bits of data you need to track. How much is your average job worth to you? So in the solar panel industry, you're probably going to be looking at 6 to 10K, I would imagine. Pretty small jobs up to 20, 30K, but it's probably 6 to 10K. So we'd meet him in the middle, right? We'd say an average job's going to be worth 8 grand. Okay. So if your average job is worth 8 grand and we're sending you 10 calls a week, you're going to get 2 customers. That means this website is worth 16K a week to you or 64K a month. Is that right? Okay. He's got to answer yes, because he's just giving you the figures. Right. This is where we used to lose our customers. This one little twist now is converts. We're getting 80% more customers because of it. More people signing up with us. And the reason is, right, so you turn around and say, okay, this is worth 64 grand a month to your business. So if I was willing to take 2 grand a month for this, yep, that's a bargain. Yes. Right. He's just giving you the answers, so we can't deny it. Right. So you let him sweat for a second. He doesn't know you from Adam. He does not want to give you 2 grand today. So you can imagine he'd go, oh, what do I say here? Right. He's kind of backed into a corner. So when you hit him with the next bit, he feels relieved, completely relieved. So you let him sweat for a second. Okay, if I was willing to take that, do you agree? He doesn't want to turn around and say yes, but he can't. Let him sweat, and then you turn around and say, don't panic, Brian. Don't panic. I'm not going to ask you for 2 grand for today. But what I am going to ask you to do is take a 7-day free trial. So what I would say is we sit down and we do all the paperwork. Okay, so we go through and we do all the paperwork. If this does what I say it's going to do in the next 7 days, you're going to make 16 grand. Okay, you let the $2,000 come out and it's paid for itself for nearly a full year. If after 6 days you've made nothing, just cancel them or move on. No harm done. You've had 6 days of free advertising. Okay, now there's loads more of this in the training, guys, but this really works. That little 7-day free trial thing You might not be getting paid for a week, but it converts people like crazy. And as long as you're not talking crap and your websites are doing what you say, then you're in a situation where you'll convert a hell of a lot more customers. Okay. So just as a quick recap, the two things you need to track are conversion rate and average job value. Now, if you've got a website here, if you've got a spreadsheet here, sorry, and you've got the name, so it's Brian, industry is solar, conversion is 20%, and everybody will understand this that's done rank and rent in the past, and your average job value is 8K, okay? So Brian goes to a works do or does something like that, and he turns around and he says to you, he says to me, hey, Mike, I can't afford to keep paying you $2,000 a month for this website. It's not worth it to me. I'm not making the money off it. So I really can't. You're going to have to do something on price. Now, most people in our industry, when they hit with this, are like, shit, what do I say? Okay, do I just say no and chance that he's going to leave? Well, you don't. What you do is you turn around and you say, don't panic. It might be our fault. Let me go and have a look at this and I'll come back to you and let you know if we can do anything about it. So if you built the websites the way we're going to show you in the training, then your website won't be doing 10. It'll be doing 15 leads a week by now, if not 20. So you turn around and you say, okay, we've been and had a look at this and we can see that your website's doing 15 leads a week. At 20% conversion of 8K, that should be 3 jobs a week, 24K a week, or nearly $100,000 a month. I'm really, really sorry, but we can't reduce the price. However, if you would prefer, we can switch you over to pay per lead. We only charge $200 a lead in this industry. Okay, and the solar panel is about right for a solar panel lead. Right, he's either going to chip bricks and think, oof, God, right, okay, well, I've had 15 leads this week. That's going to cost me $3,000 and $12,000 a month, or I can carry on paying the $2,000 a month. Either way, you're a winner, right? Either way, you've got a $2,000 a month customer for life. He's never going to leave. Or alternatively, you're going to convert him into a pay per lead customer, and you're going to make a hell of a lot more money. And I'm going to touch on that in the next section as to why. Part number 3, how to 10x your income again with the hybrid lead generation business model. Guys, this really is when losing a customer becomes the most profitable part of your business. When losing a customer becomes the most profitable part of your business. I've never heard anybody be able to say that and actually back it up before, but this is true, as I'm about to show you. So what you're looking at here is the coast of California, okay? And remember what we said earlier on. You choose an industry and you spread like a wave, okay? So you select your location, or you can spread like, if you dropped a stone in a pond, the way the ripples would come out from it, you can spread your business like that, okay? So we've chose California, and we're going to choose plumbing today as an example, because it's probably the most popular industry for lead generation, probably by about a factor of 5 or 6. Okay, wow. So each of these are population pockets, 100K population pockets, okay? So you've got 10, 100,000 population pockets. Each of these we're going to build a website on. Okay, so we're going to build a website on each of these population pockets, and we're going to spread like a wave. And I know the graphics are amazing. I did it myself. Right, so we're going to spread like a wave, and you'll understand a bit more soon. But what you're going to spread like is like this. So these are all plumbing sites, and we're spreading like this. All right, so you're spreading next one. Each one, the stone's throw away. The next 100K population pocket, so which is it's a large town. Not quite a city, but they're the sort of population pockets you're going to go after, because it's very easy to rank very, very quickly in one of them areas if you niche down with your websites. All right. So it's very, very easy to rank if you niche down. So you wouldn't go after specifically plumbing. You'd probably go after underfloor heating. And then you'd rent these sites out in the underfloor heating, because they're very easy to get rid of, because they know they're going to be $2,500 jobs at least. And then the website stacking strategy, which you'll learn in the course, shows you how to absolutely annihilate the money out of these guys once that happens. Okay, so California coast, 10 times 100,000 population packets. Like I said, we build a website on each of these plumbing sites. We're going to keep them cheap. So let's say, just as an example, plumbing sites are worth $400 a month each. Okay, so that's going to earn you around $4,000 a month. All right. Now, when you look at that and you think you're paying $20 per site per year, okay, and it's costing you about $200 a year for all 10, and you're making $4,000 a month. Is that a good return on investment?
Damn right.
It isn't, It really isn't. Let's keep going. Right, guys, let me ask, what happens if you lose 2 customers? If you lose 2 customers, what happens? You lose $800 a month. Yep. No, that's not what happens, right? Let's say we've built absolute crap sites, right? Let's say these sites are only generating 50 leads a month each. Okay, so you get 50 leads a month each from 2 of your websites, which is absolutely terrible. If you've built the sites well and you've done it right and you've done a proper, you've worked on the foundations and you figured out all the keywords and everything else, then 50 leads a month is terrible. Okay, so 2 poll websites only doing 50 leads a month each, just by switching the setup inside of our system. Just by flicking the switch, you convert these over to pay per lead. And our system distributes your leads automatically to this customer here, to this customer here, to this one, to this one, this one, and this one. Okay, all on complete autopilot. Right now, these guys have already got a financial relationship with you. They know, like, and trust you. They're already renting sites off you in their own population pockets, in these tiny little population pockets, but they're not renting sites off you here. Now, if you've got a $2.5 grand underfloor heating job that you only want $25 a lead for, then they're more than happy to pay for it in both of these areas. So let's just look at this. Oh, I've lost me cursor, right? Average plumbing leads in the US start at about $15, go up to about $60. So we're going to average it out at about $25 a lead. All right. How much is this? How much do you actually make if you rent out, if you sell the leads just once each from all them sites? It's actually $1,250 a site or $2,500 for 2 websites, plus the $3,200 for the other 8 websites. That means you've just increased your income to $5,700 a month just by losing 2 customers. Now, you've got to think about this before using a situation where you could probably pay your mortgage, maybe cover your healthcare, and have a tiny bit of cash left over and not a very nice car parked on the drive. Now you've got a really nice car parked on the drive as well. Okay, so you're in that situation. Now, this has all come from a business that was previously doing you just $4 grand a month, right? And all you've done is lose 2 customers. But there's one thing that people must remember in lead generation. And I know because you guys are experienced on here, you're going to fight me on this. So I will go through in more detail at the end exactly why you must sell leads multiple times to be fair to the customer. Okay. You must sell the leads at least 3 times a piece. And I'll go through why, because the customer is the person that's bringing the business and the customer is the person that's paying the bill at the end. And if you treat a customer fairly, you get a heck of a lot more customers. If you're selling sole priority leads, it doesn't work right. And it's why you need to be able to sell leads multiple times. Now, if you're selling these leads 3 times each, this gives us $7.5 grand from 2 websites, or $3,200 and $3,200 from 8 sites. Now we're earning, just from losing 2 customers, $10,700 a month. What happens if we convert all 10 websites? Anybody good at math? All 10 websites, we earn $37,500 every single month. That's from a business that was doing us $4 grand a month. These tiny little tweaks make monstrous differences to your income. Okay, if you can convert your business to run it the right way, you make a hell of a lot more money and you don't need to do any additional work. Now, I don't know how many people we've got in here that are into ads, but I'd like to show how this works with ad agencies. One of my business partners, David Casser, he's absolutely a legend when it comes to ads. And we've done a lot of testing with this on ads, okay? So like I said earlier, one niche and spread like a wave, okay? 10 circles equal 10 ad campaigns. And if we've got any ad guys on here, you might be able to answer this. So let's say we'll go after the plumbing industry again. And let's say they've all got $1,000 a month ad spend each, okay? 20% commission. You're looking at to make around about $2 grand a month. All right. So you're probably going to make $2 grand a month if you've got 10 grand of ad spend, $2,000 a month. So it's not quite as good as the websites were. But what happens if we lose a customer? Is there anybody on here ever lost a customer before?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure, all of us have.
All of us. Every single one of us. Yep, exactly. All right. So what happens if we lose a customer? Okay, guys. Well, you lose $200 a month. Actually, the answer again is no. Okay. So what we started to do with the ad customers. If you lose an ad campaign customer because it's inside your ad account, you take on an $800 a month liability. An $800 a month liability, okay? Now, an optimized campaign for $800 a month in the plumbing industry should do you about 200 leads a month. Okay, so we've just gone through your average lead cost is about $25 in the US. $200 a lead is times $25 a lead is actually $5,000 a month, or $4,200 profit from one campaign. If we sell the leads 3 times each, we're then in a situation where we're doing 15 grand a month, 4,200 profit after the overhead from one campaign, that was previously making you $200 a month. Understand why we convert to the pay per lead. We start with a rank and rent for the stability, but we convert because our system enables you to run a hybrid model. So all the leads can be passed to all of these people on complete autopilot via your ads without you doing anything. You've already got a financial relationship with them. They already know you're running their ads, but they're not paying you to run the ads here. Not only that, you can then start picking up new lead buyers in all these tiny little areas. And what will happen is our system will distribute the leads to them as well on autopilot without you doing anything. Okay. Automatically it distributes the leads, complete autopilot. Now, here's the big question. What happens if we convert all 10 campaigns? Remember, we were doing a massive $2,000 a month profit from these guys before. If we convert all of these to pay per lead and we take on all the ad campaigns, and we can afford it from just the first one, we could actually afford the full $8,000 a month from the very first campaign. You're looking at $142,000 clear profit every single month. Does this make sense? Does everybody understand how easy it is and why it actually works the way we do it? Okay, let me ask, what's the full process? I told everybody it's going to be simple. You only need to memorize 4 words from tonight and you'll be able to remember everything and then look back at it from the training. Obviously, there is choosing a niche and spreading like a wave, which is super important because you need to be able to distribute the leads on complete autopilot to all the other locations. So you spread like a disease across the country. You don't spread different industries and just look for clients here, there, and everywhere. Have a purpose behind it, okay? But the first step is build a website, okay? And we show you exactly how to build a website that's going to last, that's going to stay up, that's got a great framework, and that's actually going to rank without doing a huge amount of off-page SEO, okay? Rank your website. Again, we show you how with the on-page and off-page SEO. Rent out your website, okay? And again, we show you how. There's a lot more about what I went through before and about how to convert lead buyers and everything else inside the training. And then you convert to hybrid. It's the hybrid model that massively increases your income and also builds a huge stability for the business. So it makes the business super, super, super stable. Now, I'm going to answer everybody's questions as we get close to the end of the presentation. But whilst we're still in this plane, does everybody mind if I share a special offer with you before I answer any questions, before we jump on and go through and answer any questions? Everybody okay with me doing that?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Guys, this is the best offer I've ever put out. Okay. I know Bradley uses my tool already. All right. And when he sees this offer, he's going to be like, damn, I should have got it tonight. Okay, guys. But let me show you. Okay. So what you're going to get today is you're going to get Lead Simplify, 10 user logins. This means you can do exactly what I've just shown you today. Exactly what I've just shown you on here with the 10 logins or the 10 ad campaigns. You can completely clone that. Okay. Altogether, you're going to get unlimited calls inside your system. All you do is connect your Twilio account. It costs you £1 a month per number. And you've got unlimited. You can have unlimited Twilio numbers. All the redirects and everything in there are all set up. Unlimited forms. Okay, so we've got a drag and drop form builder in there. Works on unlimited sites and in unlimited ads anywhere in the world. Okay, so it works on unlimited sites and ads anywhere in the world. HTML, WordPress, Wix, any websites at all. We've even had these working on Google sites. Unlimited leads coming through your system, so you're not capped at anything like that. Unlimited prospects and auto prospecting. Okay, auto prospecting is only possible with our system. Okay, it builds your business for you. Okay, so let me quickly show what auto prospecting does so people understand. Right, so imagine you get a call coming into your business here, right? Let's say you've just built a roofing website in Miami. Okay, you built a roofing website in Miami and excuse me, and you've just put it up, you've added Lead Simplify, you've activated auto prospecting, and you've set the phone number and said, right, this is a roof, this is in the roofing industry, and this is our location. Okay, so a phone call comes into your business, and you've got no lead buyers in Miami. Our system goes out automatically without you doing anything and rings this many people simultaneously. All of these people get a phone call instantly, all at the same time with the auto prospecting. And what it does is, you have to set this up right, and we show you exactly how in the user guide. But what it does, or the way that we set it up, is we record it with our voice rather than using the machine voice that's built in. So you just click the thing and it will ring you, and you say, "Hi, this is a free lead from XYZ Leads or from Mike Martin Leads. When instructed, press 1 to accept, and we'll call you afterwards to see how it went." Right now, the reason we do it this way. So they have this instruction at the beginning of the call. They all receive it. The first person to press 1 gets the lead. So 19 of these are then added to your system as prospects in the location of where your website is. So your website's in Miami. You will get 19 prospects in Miami and 1 hot prospect to the one that's pressed number 1. Okay. Now, the key to this is the auto prospecting helps you build your business on autopilot. Now, the reason we've included it in there is it's the perfect tool to build a relationship with your future customers without selling to them. All you do is ring them after they've had a lead and say, "Hi, how did it go? Did you like it?" And one of the things I love to say to a customer is, "We're going to send you a few more leads. We're going to sell you 3 or 4 more leads so that you think," and the system automates the whole process. "We're going to send you a few more free leads. Let us know how it goes. We'll ring you after each one to have a chat and see how it went. If this makes you some money, would you be willing to spend some money in our system on leads? And then it's never cost you a penny. You're always in credit because we've given you these leads to start you off in the first place." Nobody ever says no to that question. Nobody ever says no to that question. That question converts every single customer into an onboard your lead buyers. Super, super easy. Okay. And it's just by doing it. But the system automates it. Normally what you do is you build a site and you'd have to generate a few hundred calls before you can start renting it out because nobody's interested. Well, it's getting 1 call a week. What's the point? Okay. Anybody who knows about SEO, if when they come onto your website and they're being dealt with and they're not going doing the same search in Google, it's also good for your SEO. So it's a win-win situation. So that's what auto prospecting is. It builds your business for you. Okay, unlimited emails and an email marketing system integrated into the system, so you can email anybody who's ever contacted the system, whether it's a lead buyer, whether it's a customer, no matter where it is, you can market to them from directly inside the system. You've got an SMS system with an SMS marketing system included. There's an invoicing system in there, which is for your pre and post pay clients. It just runs your business, so you can send out the invoices, or you can give them a contract, and it'll set them up with a certain amount of leads every single month. And full call center capabilities. That's call distribution, call routing, call recording, call whisper, call announcements, and dynamic call distribution. And this is all for, you already know the price, guys, because I've said it earlier on, a total of just $39.99 a month. That is it, guys. $39.99 a month. But one more second, I've got actually some really, really good free gifts for you guys as well. So, but wait, that's what I was supposed to say. Okay. Now you might be sat there thinking to yourself, all right, well, okay, we can do all this with what he's just sold us, but will I need hosting? And normally the answer would be yes. Okay. You'd normally need to set up your own hosting, your own SSL certificates, and all the other crazy stuff. Will I need a web designer? And again, guys, the answer normally would be yes. Okay. Or will I need to learn complicated SEO? Okay. Now I'm teaching you all of the on-page and off-page SEO stuff that's easy to implement, but there's something called schema, which is a pain in the backside, and you need to know code to do it. Normally you do. Okay, guys. Let me just take you over and quickly have a look at the checkout page. 1 second. I'm going to try and drag the page in so you guys can see it. You'll have to let me know if you can see it, Bradley. And the link is on the page. Just let me pull this in. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, guys. So on the top left-hand side, you can see 10 user logins, unlimited calls, unlimited forms, and everything we've just gone through, including the prospecting and the auto prospecting. There's a few free stuff down here, which I'll go through later. But what we're really interested in, what's really important, is what you're going to get is the webinar only special gift. Okay, guys. So anybody who decides to purchase on this webinar, what you're going to get completely free of charge is you're going to get 50 website hosting package valued at $47 a month. Okay. You're going to get access to 10 local business Elementor themes added each month inside your system. Okay. I think we've got 16 in there the second you start. These are easily worth $97 each or $970 a month. You're going to get them every single month. You get 10 new ones every single month. So he's brand new. He only started doing it a couple of months back. Also, I'm going to give you WP Schema plugin, 50 website license. Normally, this is $97 a month. This WPSchemaplugin.com is my tool. We'd normally do a Black Friday special where we give you 50 website license for $497. Anybody who jumps on tonight, I'm going to give you that. So you've got the 50 site hosting, you got the 50 site license for the schema, and you're going to get local business templates designed and built in Elementor, which is a super simple drag and drop. You get access to our Facebook page, and you get access to our monthly live training. It's actually weekly live now. We do it every Thursday at 5. So value today is $1,514 plus $970 a month. Guys, that's all for just $39.99 a month. If all you was getting was this little bit here, it'd be an absolute bargain on what I'm doing for you guys. That's why I say it's the best deal I've ever done. If all you was to do was go out and build one website and rent it out for even $100 a month, then you've covered all your costs, and you've got the invoicing system, you've got the call center software, you've got the email and the SMS marketing system, you've got all of the other stuff that it does inside there, plus you get 10 free themes every month, plus the hosting, plus the schema for your sites. All you need to do is get rid of one site, and this becomes a free tool. Now, I'm assuming people are thinking, what are the themes going to look like? So I'm going to quickly show you what the themes look like. I've had one of my guys put this together. Okay, so here's a list of some of the themes. You're going to get all access to all of these tonight. So you've got appliance repair, auto repair, builder, DJ, chiropractor, carpet cleaner, electrician, lawn maintenance, lawyer, plumber, painter, locksmith. What else is down there? Mold remediation, home remodeling, water. There's actually more in there now. I know there is. Roofing, security, spa and beauty. Let's take a look at one of the sites. I'll show you what they look like. So this is the electrician site. You literally upload the 4 templates, and this is exactly what they're going to look like. So this would be your electrician site, 4-page website. So they're not just landing pages. Let's go and look at a different one. Let's have a look at chiropractor. So you get unlimited access to these guys. You can do whatever you want with them. There's your chiropractor one. And there's a total of 16 of these altogether. And as you can see, they're all in there. They're all very similar. They're all mobile optimized. They all do what they're supposed to do, and they're all designed really well for conversions. So you're going to get free access to them, and you can use them to sell the leads to customers or do whatever it is you want. Now, let me come back over to where you guys are. So you're going to get all that. Now, a few people are going to be thinking, okay, well, he's gone through this, but what makes it pandemic proof? What makes the whole project that he's just talked about pandemic proof? Okay, guys, well, it's just a few essential industries, okay? Now, if these industries, for example, doctors, roofers, plumbers, locksmiths, if these industries stop trading completely, okay, then the world would fall into chaos. Okay, if you've got a hole in your roof, you need a roofer. So roofers are still going to be coming out and working and fixing things. I remember when the pandemic first kicked off, they stopped them doing it for like a week or so. And eventually it's like, they got to let them back on the road. Okay. Now, I own one of the largest locksmith companies in the UK, and I don't do any jobs. Okay. Example, Uber, largest taxi company in the world. They don't own many cars. Facebook with media, Amazon. They do now, but they didn't at first. Airbnb, world's largest accommodation provider, on almost no real estate, right? You don't need to be a doctor, roofer, plumber, or locksmith to make this work. All you need to do is generate the leads in the industries that are not going away, that are still going to be trading no matter how bad this pandemic gets. And the bigger you grow your business at this point, and if you follow the hybrid model, it's going to be super, super stable. And it's going to work really, really well. I've just thought what the next slide is as well, guys. So none of these businesses are going away. Do you want to see some of the templates? I've just done that, Anna, so I couldn't help myself. Right, another thing I'm going to go through, which I'm sure, because we've got a lot of lead gen experts on here, is why you should sell leads multiple times. Now, a lot of people teach people not to sell leads multiple times and to actually sell exclusive leads, right? But I've been doing this for 10 years now, and I understand this industry inside out. And if you look at every single big lead generation provider on the planet, none of them sell exclusive leads, right? In fact, Home Advisor is a perfect example, right? Every single tradesman who buys or every single contractor who buys leads off Home Advisor hates Home Advisor. So everyone gets to turn around and say, yeah, you hate them, come to us. Okay. And it's the wrong approach, because Home Advisor understands the one thing. If you look after the customer keeps coming back. And even though the lead buyers hate them, they still buy the leads off them because the customer keeps going to them because the customer's getting looked after. Let me explain, right? Let's say you sell a lead once, okay? So let's say we've got, right, you can all laugh now because I've just drawn on my Wacom with a permanent marker. You need to buy now. I need to buy a new Wacom.
Oh no.
Right, let me draw on it with the proper pen, right? So say this person here comes to your website. And let's say they've got a leaky roof, yep? They get one quote. So they come to your website, you've got 15 different lead buyers on there. First person comes up, provides them with a quote, $5,000 to fix this leak, okay? The woman's like, oh my God, that's super expensive. But she gets the job done because the water's coming through her roof and it's going to wreck everything in her house and she's got no choice really, okay? So it's like, do you know what? He's going to do it. I'm going to have to accept it. Then as soon as she starts telling me, oh, I can't believe I had to have my roof fixed, it cost me $5,000. Everybody who knows anything about roofing is going to tell her that she got ripped off. It's an absolute piss take, so to speak, right? So she's going to tell her friends, and then she's going to leave negative reviews, and she'll tell anybody that'll listen, okay? Do not go to Mike Martin Roofers. He's an absolute scumbag. He rips you off, and you won't get any more customers, right? Now, let's say the same person comes to your website and gets 3 quotes, okay? So we go for the roof again. She gets 3 quotations this time. Right, now you've got to realize the first person to quote is always going to be the 5K guy. You know why? Because the guys that are running around desperate looking for leads are the people that are ripping everybody off. Okay, they run around ripping people off so they never get any repeat business. And that's why they're not as desperate. That's why they're more desperate than everybody else, because they're looking for job to job to job to job, because the pipeline never fills up. Then she gets a quote from the second guy. The second guy says, actually, it's only jumping up and changing a tile or whatever it is. I'll do it for $325. So she's looking and she's thinking to herself, either the guy at $325 is completely taking the mick, or the guy at the 5K is completely taking the mick. She doesn't know what to do. So then she gets a quote for $300 off the next guy. And she's like, okay, so she knows these two are legit, genuine. So this guy's just purchased a lead off you for, say, $120 in the roofing industry. And he's not going to get that lead no more. Okay, so you've kind of wheedled out the scumbags by selling leads multiple times. Not only that, when she does speak to people, she'll tell her friends, go to Mike Martin Roofers, is absolutely brilliant. Okay, then she'll leave positive reviews. Right, when you do this over a long period of time, what happens is people start searching for Mike Martin Roofers instead of searching for roofer in Miami. So Google then starts to see that this is coming up all the time and they're coming onto your site, and that turns you into a brand. And anybody that knows anything about SEO knows that turns you into an entity. And then that increases the ranking of your sites, which means you get more leads coming into your websites, and your website starts to grow in popularity. More and more customers come to you. So because you're getting more and more customers, happy customers, you get more and more leads, you get more and more things. You become the go-to person in your area for the leads, and the lead buyers have no choice but to come to you, or they don't get any leads in the area. It's as simple as that. Okay. So you should be selling leads multiple times to make sure that you're looking after the customer, because the customer is the one person that's going to help you grow your business. Whereas the lead buyer, they just want a cheap lead. It's as simple as that. They don't care what happens to your business afterwards. They don't care if you go out of business. They don't care if they rip off your customers. They don't care if you get loads of customer service issues. They're just not bothered. And the best way to stop yourself getting all them problems is by giving the customer alternatives. Okay, guys, I'm just going to very quickly again whip through what the offer is before I start answering the questions. So you're going to get 10 user logins, which means you can do exactly what I've just showed you. You're going to get unlimited calls, so you can just connect it to Twilio. All the other parts of the system are completely unlimited. The only part that's limited is the number of logins you can use for your hybrid lead buyers. So your hybrid guys are limited. Everything else is completely unlimited, including the call center. You can have as many numbers as you want. You can have as many forms. You can have as many phone calls. Everything else is completely unlimited for you. Unlimited forms. It's a drag and drop form builder that works on any website anywhere in the world. Unlimited leads, unlimited prospects with auto prospecting. You can't get that anywhere else. No other system does it. Unlimited emails, SMS, invoicing system, both pre and post pay. So you can set up contracts or you can send them an invoice. And it integrates with your system, and full call center capabilities, call distribution, call routing, recording, call whisper, call announcements. Now, you can't even buy a call set. You can't even buy a call tracker, an unlimited call tracker for this sort of price. Okay. In addition to that, we're going to give you 50 website hosting. Okay. You're going to get 10 new local business themes every single month in security, painter, lawyer, builder, water restoration, electrician, locksmith, DJ, auto repair, cleaner, beauty, roofer, plumber, appliance repair, lawn maintenance, and chiropractor are already included. And 50 website license for my WP Schema plugin. My WP Schema plugin is awesome because you go to the top ranking sites, paste their URL into your website, click a button, it'll import all their schema. You go into the form, okay, no code to deal with, edit it so that their details is now your details, click save, and you've got schema that's probably took them weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks to do, if not longer. They're web guys, and it took you maybe 10 minutes maximum. You got 50 websites, and that makes sure that obviously you host your websites, you get all your, you can rank all your websites, and then you've got your schema as well, because it's becoming more and more essential. Just $39.99 a month. Plus, for those that don't like to pick up the phone, I've got some additional free gifts I'm going to give to people. We're going to give you a PDF download of our best email or open rate email headlines. These are designed to get people to open the emails you send out. This is for your lead buyers. If you have to contact your lead buyers via email to get in touch with them, you don't like picking up the phone, this will get your emails open. Not only that, we're going to give you the onboarding email templates we use in our lead generation business. What this means is when it does get opened, it's going to help you convert them to lead buyers. Okay. We're going to give you lead buyer onboarding training, not available anywhere else, which is lead buyer onboarding training done by me, so that when you do speak to these guys, you can convert them into leads. Oh my God, 1 second, guys. An alarm has just gone off. So sorry about that. That was supposed to be switched off. Proper amateur. And for those who want to go after specific industries, we're also going to give you 10 million USA business records with contact details. Now, this is something that we purchased for $5,000, and it covers all the industries that you've got in the themes. So if you decide you want to go after painters, they're all going to be in there. You go after lawyers, you go after builders, you go after law illustration. All of them businesses from across the US are all included in there. So you're going to have email addresses, phone numbers, and contact details for 10 million USA businesses. Okay, so that's Lead Simplify webinar only. It's normally $599 or $59.99 a month just for the license with no added extras. You get PDF downloads of our best open rate emails, onboarding email templates, lead buyer onboarding training, and 10 million USA business records. That's a value of $6,060. Plus, like I said before, if you buy on live, you get the 50 website hosting, 10 new local business themes every month, and WP Schema plugin. That's $1,500 plus $970 a month. And I'm going to give every single one of you, okay, access to this free training course. I sell this for $297, so I'm going to send you over to the website shortly, and you're actually going to get a coupon code where you can actually pick up the, you can pick it up from completely free of charge. And that goes through everything you're going to need to succeed in this industry. So the total process is activate your Lead Simplify system when you get your email with your login details, set up your hosting, add your domain, it's your own domain name, upload your template, which we give you, add your content, which you write yourself, and import and edit your schema. Okay, you're going to go through the on-page and off-page SEO, obviously, create a form and a Twilio, add your form and your phone number to your websites, activate auto prospecting, and let Lead Simplify help build your business for you. All you need to do is contact them every time they've had a lead and ask them how it went and build a relationship. There's no selling involved. Guys, any questions?
Well, I want to jump in real quick and mention that I've got Semantic Mastery's got some bonuses that we're going to throw in as well, guys, because it perfectly complements Mike's Lead Simplify system and the rank and rent training, the hybrid lead generation model. And that's my own prospecting methods that I've been using for my own business. Some of you may already be familiar with what I call the video lead gen system. That's using video emails for prospecting. That we're going to throw in. I actually developed that way back in 2012 when I first started my agency, and I was looking to bring on my own SEO clients. And I developed kind of this video email process that works really well. I was getting a 35% open rate from or response rate, excuse me, from cold emails. So it works really, really well. And then on top of that, for our live event that we just hosted last month called, POFU Live 2020. So our live event this year, I also developed a prospecting machine that runs on autopilot that is incredibly powerful. And I'm getting a 34% response rate from cold emails on a system that is entirely scalable. And I'm going to share that with you guys as well. So anybody that buys Mike Martin's Lead Simplify deal is going to get both of those from Semantic Mastery as bonuses.
Boom. That's absolutely awesome. I don't know where the questions are in here, mate. Have you got any questions, or can you see any questions?
Well, since we had kind of a screw up on the webinar, there's not a whole lot of attendees here, so we've only had a couple of questions. I've answered some of those via text, so those have been answered already. But here's a comment. It's not really a question. Christopher says, "This is to you, Mike. A dry erase marker will erase permanent marker."
Thank you so much, Chris. I will definitely use that. I appreciate that.
And I also do see a couple of questions. Well, I see one in YouTube. Again, sorry guys, we had kind of a technical issue, so everything got moved around at the last minute. But another question is, will this work for the Europe market?
Yes, it certainly will. We've got users all over the US, UK. We've got people in Germany. I actually used to live in Spain, and I built about 50 or 60 sites out in Spain, plumbing network. And so yeah, we've got customers all over the world, Australia. Other than China, I don't think we've got anyone in China. I'm pretty sure we've got people in most countries using it. They're not all using it in the country they live, but we have people all over the world using it.
Yeah, and just kind of to add to your presentation, I started using it when I first saw your presentation. Like I said, probably about 10 weeks ago now, Mike. I've always sold leads. I've been selling leads since 2010, and like I've always done exclusive leads, which is that's just the way that I've always done it. And it was your webinar that kind of opened up my mind finally for the first time to selling leads to more than one lead buyer. And it was a considerable shift in my model, because that's when I said, you know what, that's absolutely right. I've been competing against HomeAdvisor and Thumbtack and a lot of these other types of services out there that generate leads for contractors, because I work in the contracting niches, mainly tree service industry. And a lot of the clients that would come to me for buying leads would say to me what you said, is they'd say, we hate HomeAdvisor, like HomeAdvisor sucks and blah blah blah, but yet they would keep buying leads from HomeAdvisor for months or years on end. And so, I realized that after listening to you the first time I heard your presentation, I was like, you know what, that makes a lot of sense, being able to sell leads, because it's more than one buyer, because you're presenting the customer, the end customer, with multiple options, multiple offers, essentially multiple estimates for the same job. And that's fair on their part. And so I started switching many of my lead generation assets over to that once I had the Lead Simplify app set up, so that I can sell leads. I sell them 3 times now. So for like a tree removal lead, I charge $40 per lead. And so now I'm getting $120 for a lead that I was only generating $40 from before. So I basically tripled my revenue from the same leads, which is insane.
And your overheads have stayed identical. Your overheads won't be any dearer than they were before. Yeah, I mean, that's why the big businesses become big businesses, is they understand that, look, this is a business. We're here to make money, and we're not here to be mates with these lead buyers. The lead buyers don't give a shit about us. What they care about is getting a cheap lead.
That's right.
And that's why they hate HomeAdvisor. But customers will come back to you, and they will recommend you, and they will. And if you imagine you do, even if you only do 1,000 leads a year, right? Let's say you're only small and you only do 1,000 leads a year. That's 1,000 happy customers, and 1,000 happy customers even if you're only getting 10% of them that are telling other people about it, there's a lot of referrals coming back your way, which is more free business. And because you're selling them for 2, 3, 4, 5 times, I mean, I know people that sell leads 10 times. Now, I think that's a bit far, except for like in the DJ industry where they sell them for like $2 a piece. But yeah, you can't, you really can't, you can't grow a business and remain sustainable just selling them to one person at a time. It's not a sustainable model, because everybody else can afford to outpay you on the advertisements. If you are selling a lead once for $40 and it's costing you $60 in ad spend to get one person through the door, then everybody else can afford it because they're selling them multiple times and you can't. So you're always scraping the bottom of the barrel. So it makes it super difficult. I'm just having a look at some questions. Does your system integrate with any CRMs? Not at present. We integrate with Zapier. So you can send the leads off to CRMs using Zapier. And we just Zapier at the minute. We've got a few other bits and bobs we're integrating with, but just Zapier. And you can, because I use Zapier to integrate from my lead thing to put them into a Google Sheet, and then from a Google Sheet I send them to GoToWebinar and various other things, so that I can market the crap out of all the leads that come through the system, as well as just I'm really sorry about that phone. I don't know why it's going off.
That's funny.
I switched that off beforehand, but I think I accidentally put it down on the charging pad, so it's it's killed the presentation. The ranking part was kind of, how difficult will it be to rank a random site in a random market? Okay, Ryan. I like this question because I get this a lot. And a lot of people, the biggest mistake I see people do is, for example, you would go after, let's use plumbing because we've used that example a lot. You'd go after the plumbing industry. Okay. Now, if you're going after the plumbing industry, you're in a situation where everybody's a generalist. Okay. Every single person in the plumbing industry, real businesses set up general plumbing websites. So what you're best off doing is creating a specialist. Okay. So let's say you're only going after underfloor heating. Okay, there's going to be a lot of search, or in the US, you probably won't, because in most of the US, in the UK, underfloor heating is massive because it's freezing. Okay, so let's say you go after underfloor heating. You know, at least the jobs are going to all be $2,500 each. It's very easy to sell the leads, and it's very easy to rent out the websites because they know they're not going to be cleaning out toilets and they're going to be doing bad jobs like that. So what you do is you niche down and you become a specialist. You kind of become a Wikipedia for that industry. So let's say you were doing underfloor heating, you'd say, in your website, in your content, you'd write about things like the best type of flooring to have down for underfloor heating, what type of flooring lets the heat through, what type of flooring could cause fires, why you should keep your heat to a certain level on your underfloor heating so the pipes don't freeze and burst. And I don't know much about underfloor heating, but most of that's kind of obvious. But all that stuff you put into your site, because the person you're fighting against is a general plumbing website that says on his thing, we do underfloor heating. And he probably won't have much else. He might have 100 words about it. Whereas you've got a website there that you create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,000 words of content all about the underfloor heating industry with all the different bells and whistles there. And what will happen is you won't outrank the plumbers for plumber location, but you'll outrank all the underfloor heating guys. Okay, then what you do is you set up your rental, you distribute your rental sites out. I'll go on a little bit further with this now as well. So you can rank it much, much quicker that way. All right, much quicker by doing it that way. So what we recommend for first timers to do is you choose a stackable niche. And when I say a stackable niche, what I mean by that is, right, if you've got 10 rank and rent customers, all do underfloor heating, every single one of those would buy boiler repair or boiler installation leads because they're all gas guys, okay, or they won't be doing underfloor heating. So they're all qualified gas guys. So then you're in a situation where rather than saying, okay, I'm going to go and start in a new area and I'm going to start building underfloor heating over here. Let's say you only want to stay in your own location. What you then do is you stack on top. So you hit the same locations, but you build 10 new sites for boiler repair or boiler installation. And then what you do is you go to the people you've already got the financial relationship with, the people who know, like, and trust you, and say to them, look, we actually get boiler repair and boiler installation leads in your area. And I never thought to ask you if you was interested. And straight away, they'd be like, yeah, of course I'm interested. It's the big money jobs. and you sit around and say, right, we don't actually rent them sites out. We just sell the leads, but we can put you on and we can convert you, and you can convert them into lead buyers at the flick of a button. It's super easy. And we call that the website stacking strategy. And there's certain industries where you can stack 5 or 6 websites on top of a bank of rank and rent guys and make an absolute fortune in the area. And the Lead Simplify enables you to automate the whole process. And you can have one guy that does 5 or 6 different industries, and he'll only receive leads in the location he covers for the industries that he wants, and he won't receive anything else, and within the hours that he covers as well. So you can also use the website stacking strategy. I know I went on a little bit there, Ryan, after you asked that, but yeah, ranking is better if you niche down. It's much, much easier to niche down and create a specialist site on a subject that's got a high value cost per lead, as opposed to just going as a generalist, because kind of then you're up against everybody that's already in the market and has been there for years. So inch wide, mile deep. Think like that. Inch wide, mile deep your websites, and make sure they've either got a lot of search or they're high value. One or the other, or both's brilliant. If it's high value and a lot of search, then great. Then they've got to have commercial intent, and you're laughing.
That's awesome. Let's see. We got another couple questions that are on YouTube. This one says, how much time and money does it take to build one site and start getting leads and calls?
How much? Sorry, what was that?
How much time and money does it take to build one site and start getting leads and calls? Well, that's going to vary depending on keyword and competition levels and all kinds of stuff. But what would you say is kind of an average or a rule of thumb type time frame?
I mean, because we've kind of given you everything you need, other than you have to buy your domain. I mean, a lot of my sites don't have any off-page SEO. I've never done any off-page. I do, but not to a high level, because it's not necessary. If you've got good quality content and you continue to add decent content to your websites, and you're not trying to rank for like, divorce lawyer and things like that, which are super complicated, super competitive, then you only really need to spend the money that you've spent here. If you're going after some of the industries we've got on the spreadsheet, let me just flip back. And so if you're going after some of the industries we've got, where are they? On here. So for example, painters. I mean, you can still sell them for $30, $40 a pop easily. If you do commercial painting and you specialize in commercial building painting, you can probably get $60, $70 a lead. And that's not going to be super competitive. Lawyer are building niche, not to be rude to the building niche, but if you niche down and you specialize in a specific subject that people like, that's stackable, builders are not known to be the most online people. They're not going to be on there building websites and doing all the other stuff. They like getting their hands dirty and going out doing the work. So the industries are easy. So it depends very, very much on what industry you're going after. But if you niche down, it's a lot easier. Yeah. Just to
kind of expand on your builder example, I've got some experience in that, and you can niche way down to stuff that's super easy to rank for, that can actually start generating leads. Like, for example, like man cave builders, right? Or she shed builders. And like, no shit, you think that's a joke, but honestly, that's a growing trend. So that's something that you can get in, and then you can stack on top of that to things like, basement refinishing or basement finishing, or, those types of, like, so they're less competition, but they're much easier to rank for, because as Mike said, a lot of builders will also do renovation or remodeling type leads or jobs. And, they're not very SEO savvy. Most builders aren't. So you can start to work your way up essentially from the bottom up to the more generalized, like builder type leads. But you can start with the real long tail stuff that is really easy to rank for, and start generating leads that way.
Yeah, a friend of mine, he's actually in our group, and I got to know him because of the industry he was going after. When they started saying in the UK you can have 6 cannabis plants right in your house and it's not illegal, he started going after the industry. Legal. I can't remember exactly how he did it, but he went after, he created legal grow rooms for people, so when they're searching to go and buy the stuff to do it, he goes out and actually he gets people and subcontracts them to go out and build a specific one. And he did really, really well with that. And he niched right down on it when it all came to life. Like everybody's now on the that what goes under your tongue, whatever it's called, the oils. Now everyone's
CBD oil.
Yeah, everyone was saying that to me for ages. Oh, go after this, go after this. I was like, nah, it doesn't interest me, that type of thing. But I know a lot of guys in our group who made a hell of a lot of money doing it. A hell of
Yeah.
a lot. Cool.
I've got another question for you.
Yep.
So this one says, so we get 50 website hostings for the price of $39.99. What is the price if we want to upgrade for more hosting? So I guess they're asking, is there, I don't think we need to know the exact prices, but are there upgrade options to upgrade to more than 50 sites?
There's not upgrade options on the hosting. However, nobody's yet asked us. If you want to upgrade on the hosting, I'd probably just give you more, to be totally honest. As long as you're not doing like 5,000 websites or something, then yeah, if you wanted double the amount, if you get on tonight, I've got no problem at all saying once you fill up the 50 to say let him have another 50. That's no problem at all. We haven't got upgrade options because I don't want to sell the hosting. I use it just for my guys. I've literally set the hosting company up just so that I can give the hosting to the people using my system. Simply because a lot of people struggle with getting the SSL. Oh, you get a free SSL certificate on every site as well, but I'd still use Cloudflare. But you do get free SSL certificate on every site and all that stuff as well, and it's got a global CDN network. I'm telling you the answers here because I've heard it. My guys saying it more than me actually knowing. I don't. Global CDN, does that speed things up or something? No matter where they come from.
Yeah, not only that, but using Cloudflare, that gives you the Cloudflare's DNS pool or IP pool, so that you're looking. That's the next question from the same asker. The same person said, can a large number of sites leave a footprint? But you said you're using Cloudflare, so that's using the reverse DNS, right? So you're getting a big pool of IP addresses.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah. But I mean, basically, I still add mine to my individual. I set up a different account for every single site I set up on Cloudflare, because Cloudflare doesn't ask you to confirm your email address. And we're going a little bit off subject, but they don't ask you to confirm your email address. So what I do is, say I set up I don't know, plumberingoldham.com, I would then set up a Cloudflare account from Mike at plumberingoldham.com and set up the site and log in and do all the stuff, because they don't ask you to confirm it. So you don't even have to set the email address up, and you can have a different individual one. And every site you go to, you kind of know which one it's going to be. So I still use Cloudflare for mine. I know Google owns it, but it is what it is. I've just seen a really good question in here, actually. My agency, in fact, there's a couple of others. So how involved are you in the Facebook group? Ryan, I was very, very, very involved in the Facebook group until recently. We've got super, super, super busy with how this has exploded and it's gone massive. I get in there as much as I possibly can, but I tend to be working on, like, for the last 7 days, me and Martin have been creating and he's my business partner. We've been creating a 38-page document for everybody, so that you've got a complete walkthrough in a PDF format rather than just a video. So you can go to the document and it shows you exactly how to set up on every single section of Inside Elite Simplify. So things are getting super busy now, and we like to do a lot of that stuff ourselves, so we know about our business. So I am in there, but not constantly. I've got my team are always in there. My team in there, Keith and people like that, are always in there. Keith's my partner on a Magic Page, another product I own, and he's always in there, and he helps everybody all the time. Constantly.
He's super helpful. Keith is. I had some significant issues trying to get the Maps APIs enabled for Lead Simplify when I set it up, and Keith and I went back, and he was super responsive to support emails, and we went back and forth for like multiple times, and we got it all sorted, and it was awesome. I even posted in the group about how awesome his support was. So yeah, Keith is great. Yeah,
Keith's the man. I'm lucky to have him. I always say it when I'm on, like, when I do the training things. Everybody needs a Keith Best on the team. Yeah. he's a brilliant. He's just awesome. So I just take a niche, really well. Like, I worked as an auto repair for a long time, so just niche to different repairs. Do you have a localizer that SEO, or you just rank everywhere? We actually build the sites out initially, let them sit for a bit, get the sites ranked, deal with on-page and off-page SEO, and then after they've started to rank a little bit and they're doing okay, we then set a radius around them and add a mass page tool on them to make them even generate even more leads.
So when you initially build the site, it's localized for one specific area, correct?
Yes, we localize it for one specific area. We build out the content massively, so you've got a load of content in it. It's all about the content these days. We build a framework. We analyze the people who are ranking at the top and the pages that they've all got. Those of you who know Matt and use his tool will know it's very easy with his tool. But if you haven't, then you go and you search the keywords you want to rank for. You check what pages they've got on the websites, and you go through and you take the most popular pages that they've all got because you know they're the ones generating the traffic. And then after a while, once it's ranked and it's stable and you know that the site's doing well, then we start adding more mass pages onto it and spreading a radius around it. So we might go 5, 10, 15, 20 miles out, population pockets of maybe, I don't know, above 5,000 people, and then start ranking in all the areas. And that generates tons and tons more leads, but you've got to take it slow. That's something that comes a little bit further down the line. You need to just get the sites up, get them ranking first and understand the process. Now, Ryan's just put there, my agency is in dental, but it's competitive, right? But maybe not so much if I niche down to just one particular service, right? I tell you a trick with dentists, a great way of getting in there really, really easily to generate leads, right? Speak to your dentist, the dentist that you want to deal with, and find out how much they will actually give you to get a bum on a seat, right? And what we've done with dentists is you do a deal with the dentist to give away free teeth whitening, and you do the marketing, right? Or you get a free checkup or there's different things you can ask a dentist to give away. Okay. And he will pay you on a per bum on seat basis. And then you start marketing for that in all the areas. And when they contact the dentist and they go through your form and through your system, you get to the situation where you can actually generate you can get decent money out of these guys. Because the second you sit down in a dentist seat, it's like, right, you've had your checkup, you've had your thing, let's book you in for your next checkup in 6 months. The dentist knows that's his funnel, that's his sales funnel. He gets you in that seat, and the first thing he does, he says to you, as you leave, go to the counter and get yourself booked in for your next checkup in 6 months' time on this date, or however he does it. And so the dentists that understand marketing, that's a great way of getting into the industry really, really quick without having to outrank everybody else. It's just a little bit of a backdoor approach for dentists. And yeah, everybody likes to win a free teeth whitening or get a free checkup at the local dentist when it's so expensive. Leads come through the roof when you do it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, guys, the next question from Ryan, I'll kind of jump on this for a minute, if you don't mind, Mike. He says, I could also just send leads from ranked GMBs, right? And I would say, yeah. And here's the thing, I know Mike's giving away hosting as well, but those of you that are Semantic Mastery followers, like we have the SEO Shield, and we use Google Drive Stacks from and Google Sites and the GMB, which is great. And yeah, I've got lots of lead gen properties out there right now that are just Google Sites and GMBs. Like, they don't have self-hosted websites. And one of the beautiful things about Mike's Lead Simplify is the form builder. You can grab a form from that and embed it in a Google site. So you can just, rank Google Sites and GMBs and all day long, and still you have the form collect the customer's info if they submit the form. Or they can call the phone number on whatever your asset is that's ranked. And all my calls I send to an actual call center, a live answering service. But a lot of other people will just send them, through the round robin and all that other stuff inside of Lead Simplify, where it will actually route the calls for you. So yeah, you don't need to have self-hosted websites for this to work.
Yep, everything you just said, mate. I don't even need to add anything to that. Yeah, GMBs, I've got loads. My mate, he can make them because I tend to market in the UK because that's where I live. But my mate can just make me GMBs wherever I want, whenever I want. So yeah, we use tons and tons of GMBs.
Yeah,
they're awesome. We found a trick as well to getting GMBs free, which is in the course I'm going to give you. A few lads have run into a couple of problems recently because of our thingy. So it should still work. There's quite a bit more in the GMB training, but yeah, the trick that we used to use got us GMBs completely free of charge. It was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see any other questions coming through. Well, hold on. There's one more on YouTube. It says, can we make a backup of a site that is hosted on your system? So I guess, in other words, do they have like cPanel access or anything like that? How's that work?
Yeah, they've got, it's not cPanel because you get charged on a per site basis. It's something that's very, very similar to cPanel. You can go in, upgrade to PHP, do all the other daft things you can do on cPanel. There's like a list of rows that where it gives you all the options. So you click and install WordPress and you set up your FTP and all that other stuff in the hosting. Yeah, it's exactly the same as using cPanel, but it's not cPanel.
Gotcha.
Because we build tons and tons and tons of websites. Obviously, I think it's about $1 a month per site or $3 a month per site. Something silly now, isn't it, for cPanel?
Yeah, I think that was stupid on their part for sure. But yeah, okay. So apparently there is one more from Ryan. He says, I didn't quite understand the dental backdoor thing. Can I email you or just ask you in the group after I buy in?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah. Basically, with regards to the with the dentist, we found a great approach is actually once you speak to the dentist and say how much would you, because that type of strategy enables you to not just market using your SEO and your paid ads, but basically you go and do a post on Facebook saying who wants a free checkup in such and such a location, and you're going to get people accepting it. So it's very, very easy to generate leads for dentists and things like that by giving away teeth whitening and things like that. But what you need to do is speak to the dentist first. But they're quite easy to get on board, dentists, for buying leads because they understand the value and they also understand, obviously, a sales funnel that when they get somebody through the door, even if they only spend $40 or $60 or $80 at the beginning, they're happy to pay you $150 because they know full well 80% of the people that sit down are coming back for a checkup in 6 months and again and again and again. And obviously their upsells is, oh, your tooth's knackered there, you need that bit whitening, you need that bit thinking. So dentists are probably some of the best salesmen without actually having to sell. So yeah, it's a really good industry, but there's a lot of people doing it not quite the right way. And also again, the thing is niche down for your rankings. But yeah, dentists, I'm a big believer that every successful business builds relationships with people. It's all about the relationships. Yeah. And if you speak to your lead buyers, this is the area where most people fail. Okay. If you're going to get into this industry and you want it to work, then speak to people. They get a lead, phone them up and have a chat with them. You're not trying to sell them anything. It's like, how did it go? I hope you loved it. If you're giving them free leads to get them through the door, hope you loved it. Hope it was really good. Don't worry, I'm still giving you a few more. Even if they made money out of it, right? Still phone them up and chat to them and say, oh, brilliant. No, I don't want nothing off you for this one. Don't worry. I'm going to send you another 2 or 3. All I'd ask you to do is you've made money already. So you're going to be in profit. Spend some of that money with our system going forward. And it's never cost you for your ads. It's never cost you for your marketing. You've literally got a free marketing pipeline for life. And as soon as they realize that, they're like, oh my God, yeah. Because they don't think like that. They still feel like they're spending the money. But if you've given them the money because you've given them the free leads, they've got no problem saying, you know what, I'll just put half back in and see what happens. And if they take a punt and you do your job right, you've got a business, you've got a customer for life.
Yeah, and guys, the bonus that we're throwing in Semantic Mastery, the video lead gen system, and especially the training that I just did for our live event last month with the new prospecting machine that I built and the method that I'm using for that. Mike's absolutely right. It's crazy, but what I kind of created a funnel, and I'm using the prospecting machine that I set up to drive. You're just using cold emails, but it drives people to a landing page where basically I tell them about, I've got leads available in your area. If you want 5 free leads, all you got to do is register, and it's just a simple form they fill out, and that alerts me when I get a form submission and to call them immediately and say, hey, look, I got your information. That's great. I'm going to enter you into the system and send 5 free leads. Let me just confirm some information. And if you're, we just have a brief conversation. And what I found is that it's that initial conversation is what ends up sealing the deal, because I'm not coming at them as like they don't smell a solicitor, right? They don't put up their defenses because they think I'm a marketing guy trying to sell them stuff. I tell them flat out, look, I'm not looking for any money or anything right now. I'd like to send you 5 free leads so that you can try them out and see that these are really good leads. And then I'll follow up with you after the 5th lead has been delivered and find out what you think of them and see if you want to continue receiving leads. And that's what I say. And it's been a really, really easy conversation. And then what happens is once the leads the Lead Simplify app starts sending them leads, I usually get an email or a text reply back from them saying like, hey, I got, that was great. I got a job, blah, blah, blah. And then that's when I jump back on the phone and say, hey, look, That's great. You made some money. How much did you make? Well, that's fantastic. Well, I'll tell you what, if you want to keep getting these leads, all you got to do is log into the dashboard, which you should have received the login information when I entered you into the system, and you can purchase credits, and you can pick and choose leads, or you can go on auto buy and all that. And I just give them a quick rundown of how the system works. And I've had multiple lead buyers enter my business within just the last couple of months, just using that system and Mike's kind of sales approach, which is kind of like a non-selling sales approach. And it works. It works really, really well.
You know what I just thought about, Bradley?
What's that?
I've not given anyone the free course yet, have I?
I'm sorry. No, I don't think he did.
Can everybody see my screen?
I can see it, yes.
I nearly forgot. I just thought, oh my God, I need to find that free course because he talked about it. Okay, guys. So what you want to do, in fact, let me see if I can find the page. Where is it? Oh, there we go. Right, I'll drag the page across. So this is what the page is going to look like. So it's rank and dot rent. Okay, so you go into rank and dot rent. You click buy. You see mine's free already. The reason being is I've added the coupon code here. So if I get rid of that, you see it's $297. Now this is about 3 months old, this course. That's so it's not something that I've been touting around and selling for years and years, and I'm just giving it as a freebie. This is current, it's up to date, it will help you. It'll teach. It's designed to fit with the roadmap we've gone through tonight. So it will really, really help you. And all you do is you paste your super secret deal, all in caps, all one word. Click apply, and it'll go to 0, and then just go. Best thing to do once you've done it is, as soon as it logs you in, just bookmark the page, and it will it'll remember you because of the cookies, and you won't have to log in again. Every time you come back, it'll just log you straight in.
Sweet. I've been through that too, so that's good. That's good. Another question comes. Ryan says, okay, so the leads into the system, we get 10. Do we have to buy more, or do the clients buy? So Ryan, the seats, the 10 seats is for lead buyers and or contractors, or it's not for the leads. You get unlimited amount of leads into the system, correct, Mike?
Yes, everything is completely unlimited. The only thing that we limit is the number of logins into the system, right? Because so if you basically they're your integrated lead buyers. You can set up 1,000 websites and distribute the phone numbers to as many people as you want on complete autopilot without doing anything, right? But if you want them to be part of the hybrid system, so that basically it will always distribute the right lead to the right people in the right location. So one of the things you can do with our system is you can set it up so you can say press 1 for plumbing, 2 for roofing, 3 for electricians, 4 for whatever. So let's say they click 1 for plumbing. They press number 1. You can then set the system up to say to them, right, now please say or key in your zip code followed by a pound sign, I believe you guys call it. We call it hash, followed by a pound sign. So we can think, so if they put in 90210, our system will automatically then connect them to either a plumber or in Beverly Hills. And if you don't have any, it'll automatically go out and simultaneously within seconds ring 20 plumbers in Beverly Hills and connect them and ask them all the same question. The same statement. This is a lead from Mike Martin Leads. It's a free lead from Mike Martin Leads. When instructed, press 1 to accept it. And after you've had the lead, we'll give you a phone call to see how it went. And then they press number 1 and it takes them straight through. And the first person to press, because 20 people are ringing all at the same time, you're in a situation where nearly always somebody will take the lead every time you get a phone call. And that turns them into a hot prospect and gives you the opportunity to build a relationship with somebody you would never had a relationship with before without ever selling to them. The system does build, it's a relationship builder. People think, oh, prospecting is going to be set up and it's going to build my business. I'm not going to have to do anything. That's not the situation. It's the opportunity to then start building your business and build a relationship. And those that are willing to get on the phone and build relationships with people are the ones that are going to be very, very successful in this.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I was saying about, the conversations. The hardest part that I've always had as trying to find lead buyers or clients, even like regular traditional client prospecting, is always starting the conversation, because the moment that somebody thinks you're trying to sell them something, they become defensive. And that's so the conversation is usually the hardest thing to get started. Once a dialogue has been started, I'm fairly good at being able to close clients or close people, um, turn them into clients or lead buyers. But again, it's that getting that conversation started. And that's what I like about this method is because you're coming at them with, a non-confrontational, non-salesy approach. And that gets that conversation started. So once you start that dialogue, then you can build that rapport and show them value up front. And then it makes it so much easier for them to come on board, and they're willing to pay at that point. I've had really good success using this particular method for outreach.
Yeah, it's the only one I use now to build these businesses. It's the only one. We have tested everything, and I mean everything. That's how we come up with a hybrid model. That's how we've built one of the best lead gen systems on the planet, if not the best. We test absolutely everything. We play around, we test, we do all crazy ideas, and sometimes we do this not even to grow a business. We do it just for the hell of testing it and seeing if it'll work. I mean, I'm in the process of setting up a national DJ site, and I'm going to give all the leads away. Because what's happened is in the UK, I don't know about in the States, but in the UK, all the DJs have been put out of business. Every single one of them are now sat at home. And obviously, most of these guys are doing it because they're on minimum wage and they're looking to make an extra few quid to make ends meet. So I'm in the process of building a national DJ website, which I'm going to literally spread throughout the whole of the UK. And I'm not going to make any money off it. I'm just going to give all the leads away. But we're going to use it for a lot of testing and to do a lot of the things we do. But it's also going to help hundreds, if not thousands of people get back to work when this crazy pandemic's over.
Yeah. By the way, could you put that slide back up for the rank and rent training?
It's up, is it not?
I mean, what was the code again? You had a coupon code or something?
There it is. Super secret deal. All one word.
There you go.
All one word in caps. Pop that in there and it will, and then just bookmark the page and it'll remember you, so you won't need to log in again. It should send you logins, but if it doesn't, I find it's easier to just bookmark it.
So Ryan, yes, the question, Ryan clarified his question. He was saying, so lead buyers, if you have 10 lead buyers in the system, you have to purchase more. Do you purchase more like as the Lead Simplify account owner, or does the lead buyers purchase their seat? You do, Ryan. Like, in other words, you'll get 10 logins in your Lead Simplify app, but you can upgrade to add more logins. Does that make sense?
Inside of our system on the dashboard, there's a place you can click and upgrade your system. Now, everything is done on a monthly basis. So everything is a monthly subscription. So to add an additional 30 lead buyer logins is $97 a month. However, if you purchase tonight on this webinar, because I know some people will want more than the initial 10, we have a special offer for you where you can upgrade 10 additional lead buyers for $97 one-time fee. So you'd end up with 20. And by the time you get to 20 lead buyers on a hybrid system, you'll be earning tens of thousands a month anyway, and you won't need to worry about it. But yeah, inside the system, you can always upgrade to whatever level you want.
Yeah, just so you guys, just to be transparent, when I went through the same webinar that you guys are sitting through now, which was about 10 weeks ago, I went and bought all the upsells for it because it's one-time fee, so I could get 44 seats in my Lead Simplify app. And I paid, I don't know, whatever it was, a few $100, but I only paid one time. And then I just paid my monthly fee, which is minimal, which is, very, very small. And it's been like, I mean, the return on investment has been exponential already, so it's totally worth it.
Yeah, we've done it that way so that everybody can afford it, because we know how profitable this is. And this is the next generation. This pandemic isn't going away anytime soon. And this is a great way to make money from home. And the good thing is everybody's now trying to figure out how to make money from home. And what you've got is a load of scammers running around. Like I said at the beginning, showing pictures of mansions and flash cars they rented for the weekend, saying that that's where they live and this is what they're like. And all I did was click this one button and I made. This is a real business, this, guys. This is something that I've been working at for the last 10 years. Back in the day, I'm a locksmith by trade. So I used to go and break in houses and stuff for money. and I got real bad gout. and I couldn't get on my feet anymore. So I had my websites ranking in the top of all the major cities within about a 40-mile radius of where I lived. So my phones were still ringing, and it was proper stressing me out to the point where I felt like killing myself because I couldn't make any money. My phones were ringing. So then I think it's one of my mates said to me, "Why don't you just sell the leads?" And I was like, "You can sell leads?" So I ended up with 2 mobile phones. I've got a payment terminal so I could take payments over the phone, and a little notebook and another little notebook. One had all my lead buyers in it because I used to ring around and ask them, "Do you want the lead? Do you want the lead?" I got guys on percentages. I got them buying leads, got them doing all sorts. And I've never gone back on the road since. I still actually do now. Now and again, I'll go out and do a locksmith job. I still have a van kitted out, but I hardly ever do jobs. But yeah, I never look back. It was a case where I started earning, whereas previously as a locksmith, if you can make, I don't know, $500 a day, you feel like, wow, I made an absolute fortune. Whereas I got to the point where I was doing 30 grand, 40 grand, 50 grand a month. And it was just like, oh my God, but I was doing it all manually. And then I met my business partner and he said, "Mate, you're an idiot running your business like this. Let me introduce you to a better way." And then we started building Lead Simplified together. And that was 5 or 6 years ago. And now it's a monster, and it's only going to get better. We've got so much coming, so much.
You know, it's funny. I have an interest or a similar story, Mike. And I was an electrical contractor. I had my own electrical business, and I started learning SEO because I was trying to generate more leads for my own electrical contracting business. And so when I started studying SEO, because I worked with, other contractors, I asked a few of the contractors I worked with if I could set up some, test sites that for them essentially to see, so that I could test different methods to see what would work, what would rank and all that kind of stuff. And two of the industries that when I built my own electrical contracting site, and then I was testing 2 other industries, it was locksmithing and carpet cleaners. And so it was really cool because I ended up, once I learned how to rank stuff and I started generating calls for my own site, plus the locksmith site, plus the carpet cleaning site, I started selling. Well, I was just doing rank and rent at the time. I wasn't doing lead selling on a pay per lead basis, but I realized that I could make more money selling leads than I could pulling wire as an electrician. So I switched over and I stopped doing electrical work and went full time into digital marketing in 2012, and I've never looked back. So.
Yeah, it's actually I mean, you look at the figures I shown today with the when I go through the ad agency and how much you can actually make as opposed to $2,000 a month to 142 grand a month, and they're not hyped up figures. They're not figures that are pushed through the roof. Even I couldn't believe it when I first started doing it as a locksmith. I was earning sometimes 4, 5, 6, 10 times as much as I've ever earned, and I was sat binging out on Netflix, eating Pringles and drinking beer during the day and having barbecues at home and all sorts of stuff, just answering the phones and doing these crazy things. And it was like, wow, this can't be real. And for the first few years, for the first 4 or 5 years of doing it, I used to always say to my missus, this can't be real. This can't carry on. I kept expecting it to end and expecting it to disappear. And I was like, well, we can't be this lucky. And I remember the first month, 47.5 grand, I think I did, £47,500. And I thought I was going to get a 50 grand month, my first 50 grand month. And I remember sitting there looking at it and I was saying to my missus, this is mental. As a normal job, I could never, this is an annual wage and I've just done it in a month. And I remember sitting down talking to her about it and I was like, and I've always, all my life, even now, I've got a van stocked, kitted out with all the locksmith stuff, really smart van. And the reason I've got it is I've always had a fallback plan forever because I've always felt like, this can't be real. This can't be that good, but it just keeps getting better. So it must be. It was like, wow, I fell into it by accident, and yeah, I feel so blessed that I accidentally fell into it. But it's all about hard work, isn't it? Like you said, you kept trying to rank your own sites. Most people that had just been like, you know what, who can I pay? Because I can't be bothered, and I just want to drink beer when I get home at night. And that was never me. I used to build the sites, write the content, do all the work, speak to the customers, just everything, absolutely everything. And I still do now. Even my business partner, he's like, on a Sunday, I'll ring him, I've just figured this out. Or can we do this? We can do that. And he's like, you just leave me alone till Monday.
Yeah, it's Sunday, man.
Yeah. And I'm still there like, wow, I've got these great ideas.
So Ryan has a follow-up comment. He says, I'm making 5 times what I made in the auto shop with my agency, but I'm getting burned out with individual premium website clients. And Ryan, let me just comment on that too. You know, I mentioned I started an agency in 2012. I started selling leads in 2010, and for 2 years I was doing electrical work and selling leads. But I live in Virginia and in on the East Coast, and so our winters are hard enough that the construction industry slows down considerably for about 3 months. And I went through 2 winters where my lead gen money had dropped significantly during the winter. And so I wanted to start building a more stable income, more reliable type of an income. So I started an agency and started, marketing my services to like the traditional retainer-based client model. And I've had clients. I've still got clients today, a handful of really good clients. But I agree with you. I can relate. I can relate to what you're saying about getting burned out with clients, because at the height of my agency, I had 35 clients at one time. And it was just, the problem that I have with clients, even though, like I said, I still have a handful of really good clients now, but I've fired all of my clients that were a pain in the ass. Like I've only kept my really, really good clients, the ones that I've had for years. And what I was going to say was what I've discovered with client work is that it's very much like having a boss, because clients expect you to be able to reply or respond to them very quickly. A lot of the times they expect you to be able to answer questions outside of business hours, and all kinds of stuff. And I got burned out on the client model myself. And I've really reverted back to just working on building my lead gen business, because you remain in control that way. And I like that much better. I don't have to answer to anybody. If one of my lead gen websites, drops a spot or two, it's doing a Google dance and it drops off the front page of Google or out of the 3-pack or something, I don't have to worry about somebody, my lead buyers calling me up saying like, hey, why'd my site drop? Because it's my site. So it gives me the control, and I don't have to answer a bunch of stupid questions from clients all the time like I have over the, my career. So I am fully have adopted or, kind of reverted back to the lead generation model, because I think it's just a superior model.
Yes. I mean, Google and Facebook can't be wrong, can they? That's what they're both following that same route now. It's where they're making all their money, from ads and lead gen, and Google's done it for years. They've gone down the pay per lead model. And one of the things I was talking to in one of our lives the other day was about, people are saying, right, so they've got Google Guarantee, and then they've got the Google pay per click, and now they're talking about making the maps paid. And a few people said in our group, oh, they'll probably make you pay $50 a month. And straight away I said, they won't. Google are not stupid. Google want pay per lead. What Google are going to do with the maps is they're going to, in my opinion, what they'll do is they'll do exactly what they did with the Google Maps API keys, right? They'll give you a certain amount free per month. So the high traffic GMBs are the people who are paying on a per lead basis over X. So they know that they're making the money, and I just can't see them doing it as a one-time fee per person. I think they're always trying to hit the pay per lead model, and I believe when they do hit the GMBs and start making them paid, that's how they're going to do it. I think they'll give you a certain amount of traffic each month free, and then you'll get hit with paid, because I think they've taken your monthly free away now, aren't they? They've said now you've got to pay after you've used so much, and the new accounts don't get it every month; they get it as a one-time.
Yeah.
On the Google Maps APIs. I know we're going on in depth a little bit now.
Yeah. Well, you have to add a billing in order for it to even enable now, right? You have to have billing enabled on your account with the Maps API.
Yep. Yeah, it's a pain, but got it boxed, haven't they?
Yeah, it looks like we're just about wrapped up. Ryan just got one more thing. He says that he came to Semantic Mastery with interest in just ranking GMBs and just selling them by phone calls. Yeah, you can absolutely do that, Ryan. And again, the methods that we teach are perfect for that. That's, primarily what I've been doing in my business for years now is GMBs and our SEO Shield, the Google sites, and the Drive Stacks, and like that in itself, you can just crush it with that, because Google loves itself. So with GMBs and the Google sites and the SEO Shield, like you can just hammer away with kitchen sink spam and still rank. It's insane. So this is absolutely like part of the reason why I like the Lead Simplify app. I mean, for many reasons, but one is because those forms are great, and you can embed them right in the new Google sites, which the new Google sites are responsive. They look good. So, you can really build out a site on that very quickly and just hammer the shit out of it with off-page SEO if you'd like and rank it. And we've proven that time and again.
I've actually got something that I teach my guys called, it's similar to PBNs, but I teach them a specific way to do single niche PBNs and how to create them and build them and doing what you're talking about there with your drive stacks and everything else. We use them for fourth tier and stuff like that. And we absolutely hammer them in fourth tier, and they don't have skyrocket the top level, but you've got to put a couple of layers of safety in between them first. And we absolutely hammer that in. And we've got something called a dynamic backlink builder, which does a very similar thing, but it does it with PDFs and stuff like that. So it's location specific for ranking these type of sites. I'd love to actually see some of the stuff that you guys do when you've got the chance, Bradley. We'll have a chat and go through what it is you do before you speak to my audience, if you've got the time.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. My partner, Marco, he's the SEO, he's the SEO savant of our crowd, of our group. Marco and I are going to jump on with you and have a chat with you, hopefully prior to you and I doing something with your group. But I think there's certainly it will jive. Like we have what we do will work very well with yours. That's why I said, Mike, when I saw your presentation the first time, I was like, man, this looks exactly like what I need. And I jumped on it immediately. And that's why I reached out to you to do this presentation to our group, because it just perfectly aligns with what we teach. So I think it's a really good potential relationship there. So
now I'm excited to see what your thing is about, because that will fit perfect with my crowd.
Absolutely.
Really, really well.
Well, listen, guys, we're almost at the 2-hour mark. I don't see any other questions coming through. It was really just a couple of comments, but if it's cool with you, Mike, I'd like to wrap it up.
Perfect, mate. Yep. Yes, nearly 10 o'clock here. I'll have a chance for a beer.
Oh, absolutely. It's always time for that. So, well, listen, thanks a lot, Mike. I appreciate you coming on, and you and I will definitely chat, outside of this webinar again. I'm looking forward to seeing what more we can do together, because I think it really is we're right in line with each other as far as our business models and such. So I think this would be great. And guys, you guys know we don't at Semantic Mastery, we do not promote anybody else's products unless we actually use them ourselves. And that is 100% truth. If you know us, you know that's true. And so for us to be able to promote this for Mike's, you know that I think it's a great app. And the bonus that you'll get on our end, if you go through the POFU live recording from my presentation from last month, you'll see that is an integral part of my business now, Lead Simplify is. So highly recommend you guys check it out, pick it up. It's very inexpensive. If you have any questions for me specifically about how I'm using it, you can certainly ask at Hump Day Hangouts every Wednesday. And other than that, we can all chat in Mike's Facebook group too. So any parting words, Mike? Or
just thank you very, very much for being on, and to all those that's been on all this time. And I look forward to working with you going forward.